Minneapolis as we check in on the status of Carolina's quarterback with Allison Williams.
Yeah, Jason, so many questions will be answered tonight, but for UNC, the biggest mystery has been who will start at quarterback. The Tar Heels are electing to go with their graduate transfer, Max Johnson, citing his experience. He started 22 games in the SEC, his consistency, and his ability to take care of the football. Plus, they say he's a better runner than people realize. Head coach Mack Brown said, we just want him to settle in, not try to do too much, and play with confidence. But if the game calls for it or they feel like he needs a spell, they are comfortable with Connor Harrell in there at quarterback. But both of these offenses rely heavily on the run game. And for Minnesota, they are without their leading rusher from a season ago. Darius Taylor cannot play. He has a leg injury. So expect to see a lot of Oklahoma transfer Marcus Major in the backfield.
Allison, thank you so much. Soak it in. College football's back. Liam Boyd on the approach for the Tar Heels. Here we go, North Carolina, Minnesota, ACC, Big Ten. And Minnesota will have the football first. You mentioned Max Brosmer. This is the first time that Max Brosmer is going to have his last name on the back of his jersey. He transferred from New Hampshire by way of Centennial High School in Georgia. He comes from the FCS level. He thought he had to bring his own pads to the hotel last night. He's ready to go and lead this team with all that pedigree in that building.
The body language looks calm. You can see the sweat on the back of the neck. I've always clamored for a heart rate monitor on these guys. They say he's ice water in his veins, calm, cool, and collected. And here goes his Minnesota career.
His final college football season begins with a throw. He looked off Major and now rolls to his right on the opening pass of his. Go for a tenure. It's incomplete. And second down coming up for Minnesota. On the offensive line, that's a big dude on the left side, Ariante Ursary, an NFL prospect.
Tell me which one isn't big. 6'6", 6'6", 6'6", 6'7". I mean, they are a gigantic up front. Even the center, the youngster, the only youngster of that group with a lot of experience, Greg Johnson, 6'6". Daniel Jackson, you will see him everywhere. Second team all-conference a year ago. He'll be in the backfield. He'll be in the slot. Their biggest weapon.
He's in the backfield right now with Jordan Nubin as well, and they will give it to Jackson. His first touch gets him to the corner, and it's third down and long coming up for a North Carolina defense that was 97th in yardage defense last year. There are the three up front, and then when you get to the linebacker area, a 100 tackle guy in Power Echols, and then Rucker, a great pass rusher.
Yeah, Rucker is an absolute stud. Feel like they've got an advantage with him on right tackle. Martez Lewis starting to tackle. They've shifted him out from guard, and a whole bunch of experience. 6 year, 6 year, 6 year, 5th year on the back end, trying to limit the big plays that were far too common a season ago.
Movement at the line, and we will see if there's a flag. There isn't one. Play clock winding down. Brosmer to throw. The pocket holds up, and he is high and incomplete. Jamison Gears, the intended target. Nobody on that offensive line moved, and so no penalty was thrown.
Correct. The youngster, that's Greg Johnson, sliding over from guard to center. If he feels that, and in time he will, in that neutral zone, just snap it. And you're going to get a free 5. Instead, you don't. And right there, you could see Brosmer, his feet were moving a little bit. That's why that ball sailed on him. Had an open receiver to move the sticks. But a good 3 and out by Carolina.
Elijah Huzzy back to return. That's a 44-second possession for the Golden Gophers. There is a marker down, and Crawford's punt to Huzzy is a line drive. It's returnable, and he's across the 40-yard line. We'll check the penalty. Our Big Ten referee is Cole Knipple.
Illegal formation, kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. 1st and 10, North Carolina.
So the Tar Heels will get an extra 5. Max Johnson, he spent 2 years in Baton Rouge at LSU, 14 starts, couple of seasons there. He moved on in the SEC to Texas A&M, which had a coaching change. He was 4-4 as a starter there, typically protects the football, and he's now got the job here in Chapel Hill. His father, Brad, played here in the Twin Cities, and he's just short of midfield on his first touch. He's got a great running back behind him, inviting contact. Omarion Hampton. Max Johnson under center. Your thoughts?
Very competitive battle to the point that Mac did not show his hands. In fact, both guys were running with the ones. Mack Brown really felt like Max brings some confidence. Been a lot of places, some dysfunctional places the last 2 stops, and talking to the coaching staff, really are hoping for the Bo Nix experience. Right people, right place, more production.
Omarion Hampton said he wanted to be more of a weapon out of the backfield. He breaks a tackle and sets up a 3rd down and medium for North Carolina. So Hampton, the All-American, behind this offensive line. Willie Lampkin, 5'11" at right guard.
Look at him stuck next to his 6'7" teammate, Trey Green. You could do it a little bit differently at guard. Get underneath people and move people. The only guy on that O-line, by the way, that's ever started a collegiate game. McCollum was a nightmare for Minnesota a year ago. 15 catches in this matchup, but a lot of inexperience up front.
Minnesota trying to get better on 3rd down under a new defensive coordinator. Johnson with some backside heat, got it to the sideline, and this is caught for the 1st down. J.J. Jones, who had 46 catches last year.
That's pretty, and look at Carolina quickly getting to the ball as every play is reviewed. That Jordan right there. It looks almost like a Jordan poster right there by J.J.
Gave him the jump man, dragging the toe. And let's see, we have a whistle.
PJ wants a timeout. Wants to make sure that replay booth had enough time. That's tremendous body control by the veteran receiver, Jones. Leading receiver in yards and receptions a season ago for Drake May. Big 3rd down conversion.
Mack Brown at age 73, already salty, already into the season. He was a basketball player in high school. Jones, 1st down, it looks like. Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
We talked about this in the open, playing complementary football, helping your defense out. Mac's teams have really looked a lot like their basketball team. They played in transition. That Carolina blue up and down the court, up and down the field. He knows to win games late, though. You can't wear down a defense and play more people. Complementary ball, and Minnesota wants to throw it to run it. PJ came out, threw it twice on that opening drive. Unfortunately, not the execution. Good job blowing the bubbles. Better in the passing game on that opening series.
Play action to Omarion Hampton. Now it's Johnson rolling and throwing, and he'll just spray it out of bounds. Ja Joyner, their sack leader last year, provided the heat.
I think they were trying to set up a screen. Whenever you see all those linemen like that go to that one side of the field, trying to roll away, throw a throwback screen, nothing there, and that's what happens with experience. 5 years of playing, you don't force it. If it's not there, especially on 1st down, live to play another day, throw it away.
Especially with Omarion Hampton in the backfield, you know that he can break tackles as he pulls his way across the 35. One of the best tackle breakers in all of college football last year. Sets up a 3rd and short, and here is the Minnesota defense, including Joyner, the pass rusher.
I've been around a long time. A lot of beef up front. 6'5", 280 amongst that group as, again, Carolina hurries to that line.
They will feed Hampton, and he goes down to set up a 4th down. Coleman Bryson bursts through, among others.
We've seen this already here on a couple plays by new D coordinator Corey Heatherman, and that has been aggression. Secondary players at the line of scrimmage, moving pieces. And here you go, first big decision of the game as you see Corey getting after it. High juice, high energy, wants his guys to play aggressively.
Got to get to the 28, 4th down, first of the season. Johnson, short set, sideline ball, and that's incomplete. Jones couldn't toe tap this time. Minnesota gets a stop.
Media, timeout.
Golden Gophers, known for their defense the past bunch of years, get a stop to hand it back. Looking good. North Carolina rolled up more than 500 yards of offense last year. Mac Brown and Sally were very happy with a 31-13 final score for North Carolina. 3 for 12 on third downs didn't help. Drake May was the quarterback for North Carolina. This is the first time they've been without Sam Howell or Drake May in an opener since 2018. So Carolina's going to figure that out. Here's Minnesota with the ball for the second time. Playing without Darius Taylor, their leading rusher from last year. Marcus Major, the Oklahoma transfer who has been so impressive, barreling his way for a big gain on first down. 5 years at Oklahoma, the playing time dwindled. PJ Fleck was enamored with him.
He was. He said you'd never fully know, right? They're like free agents at the NFL level, but from day one, he's wowed them. Once the pads came on, it was the next step. And, you know, when you compare yourself to that guy that wore 24 for PJ, Mohamed Ibrahim, who put up a lot of yards, that's a comparison that's been made because he's no nonsense, blue collar, and he'll run right through you.
They are 64% runs since 2017 under PJ Fleck. You said it, run to pass it, and there's Power Echols. Back-to-back years, 100 tackles plus, and man, did he burst through the door.
Well, just look at the guys getting downhill. I think for both of these defenses tonight, that's going to be such a key. Look at the line of scrimmage where the ball is snapped, and then quickly right there, two of those guys in Carolina blue on the other side. Right, that good old-fashioned game of tug-of-war. Too much catching a year ago. Too much reacting, not enough dictating. That guy's built to dictate. Sets up a third down here for Minnesota.
Jackson at the top of your screen, their leading receiver. They'll look out of the backfield, and a big hit. Newbin gets decked by Elijah Huzzy. What a play.
Well, this is a little bit of the illusion of complexity that Mac Brown wants from his defense. A whole bunch of different pieces moving around, but in the end, it's cover two. It's a little bit of a four-man rush from different spots, but Huzzy knows, I have got that zone. I am the boundary corner. I'm the cloud corner. He has his eyes in the backfield, and that's textbook from the 6-year veteran cornerback.
And now he goes back to return the punt from Crawford. Line drive. Just a clothesline that keeps on rolling all the way to St. Paul.
Those Aussies, they're so crazy with that football. What was that? That was like a 2-iron stinger straight from Australia from the 30-year-old.
It was raining sideways earlier. It's raining footballs sideways now for Crawford. A 56-yard punt. Two stints with the Vikings, they had a roof, so he didn't have to sit in the rain. He was twice a Minnesota Viking in the 90s and then 05 and 06. And there are the two brothers Johnson who play on this team. Max, his brother Jake, a tight end for North Carolina, and what a homecoming. A home, really, for this family a couple of times in the NFL life.
So cool, and such a journey his son has been on, and I know he's hoping the third time's a charm.
Omarion Hampton on this run, and just a couple of yards he stacked up. Brad was listening to something in the crowd. He had the headphones on. Dad, coach, onlooker.
Well, that's also like on the airplane when you put the headphones on and not hear anything anybody else is saying around you. Dialed in.
Here's his son Max on the roll on second down, and he lost his footing. It is raining down there, and it's third down coming up. You see he's trying to get his footing and stop that foot.
Yeah, they felt like Max said he's a better athlete than he gets credit for. He's a big guy, 6'5", 225, but he can run a little bit. And you're absolutely right, that inside wheel. It spits out, turf spit underneath him, and a difficult 3rd and 7 in your own end zone. You have to protect the football.
Hampton had to get close for the play. It's loud back there. That's nearly intercepted. Zaquan Bryan had it right in his mitts. It's 4th down.
Well, that's now all 3 third downs. You've seen the same concept, and that is attacking the boundary. Right, one-on-one out there, it's going to end up. First time was a beautiful catch, and you see his receiver, J.J. Jones, fall down. Nearly catastrophic, giving the ball away as J.J. ends up on his backside. And Bryan, yes, gets the knockaway, but could have had an enormous interception to flip the field.
Last time Minnesota played an ACC team in the Twin Cities, they got 5 interceptions against Wake Forest in the late 60s, and they nearly blocked that punt. McGinnis does get it away, and Redding has to wave it off. It's not exactly a technical video with 54-yard and 56-yard punts. Gets the job done. Max Brosmer back out, Allison Williams.
Yeah, and this Minnesota offense trying to get something going after the opening 3 and outs. And Brosmer told us, I'm not naive. I know the first few possessions are going to feel fast, but I believe in my ability to adapt, and I have complete confidence in the guys around me. And that was a word we heard a lot yesterday from coaches talking about Brosmer, the confidence he plays with, how he doesn't get rattled. And I'll tell you, just watching him a little bit here on the sidelines, he is so calm, very business-like demeanor.
I'd add a couple things to that as well, Allison. A great report, and that's number 1, making adjustments. He said it. That's what he does best as he processes the game. And number 2, you're also trying to figure out these D coordinators. I think both offensive staffs are really playing right now a game of discovery of exactly what are they going to get from these 2 new DCs on both sides.
It's a first down run for Major, and he is slung down by Power Echols. What a greeting in the hole.
And what you're seeing once again, I think about 3 of the 4 runs is Carolina reestablishing that line of scrimmage for Jeff Collins. The minister of Mayhem wants chaos. He wants psychos out there that are cutting it loose and not thinking. Too much thinking a season ago, too many big plays that followed it. There's some tremendous athletes, big-time recruits, 4 stars, 5 stars. Let them go play and cut it loose.
He literally picks a psycho in every practice. Second down. Brosmer gets his running back in his lap, and down he goes. Jahvaree Ritzie took him down.
Yeah, one guy took him down, but it was this right here. It was this pressure off the edge. And hello, Jordan Newman. How does my face mask taste as I drive you back? That is Stick Lane right there from the secondary, driving that back. And then there is nowhere to go. Single digits all over him in Ritzie, in Rucker. A nightmare for Brosmer.
He became Truck Stick Lane on second down. 3rd and 19. They sped up the timer on Brosmer. He got out of the way. Newman looking for the stick, and he got there. He had to have 19 and just nosed the ball.
Wow. And once again, this is just a savvy quarterback with some experience. Everything's breaking down. The pocket, once again, where's my outlet? Knowing exactly where to get the ball and then put it right on that front shoulder pad so that Newman can break the tackle of LaValle and get the first.
Brosmer with confidence, lobbing it near side. It's incomplete for Jackson. Here's a marker. It's Marcus Allen on the coverage and contact.
Jason, it did not look like much, and it's a subtle little check down, but the fact that Brosmer could get to that, the fact that he ball placement-wise could put it right in a position, if Newman has to stop, if he slows down, LaValle makes that tackle. But he leads him, and he leads to a big first down, and now a penalty.
Both on the defense. 12 men on the field, defense. That penalty will be declined. Pass interference, defense, number 27. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
They call those passes accurate and advanceable AA balls in the Minnesota program.
Yeah, and that was perfect, and it set up this. Once again, now we get a one-on-one. We take a shot. There is no effort by Allen whatsoever to turn around. He goes right through the body. And for an offense that was dying for big plays and explosive plays a season ago, back-to-back chunk plays now in Carolina territory.
That's worth 34 yards. They'll check again. Toss it to Major. Cutting upfield, and Marcus Major knocked down about the 31 by the junior out of Greensboro, Travis Shaw.
25 different run checks in this system for Brosmer. 25, yeah, and he'd love to toss it to Darius Taylor, an absolute stud a season ago. But all freshmen in yards per game, they don't have them, but 25 is a lot. In an NFL playbook or an NFL game plan, you might have 10 to 15 in the run game, but 25 different alerts, 25 different checks, and as Greg Harbaugh said, I can't overload this QB. He wants all of it.
Second and 6 for Brosmer. Quick choice again, and he slings it right around the line to gain to Elijah Spencer, and now they're cooking a little bit, Brock.
Now that wasn't quite the accurate advancement, but this is a big-time catch. Spencer knows he's going to get absolutely sandwiched on that little stick route, and he doesn't care. Brosmer's trying to protect him and throw him away from the outside contact, but the problem is there's inside contact, and Spencer says, I don't care. Let me give you a manageable 3rd and 1.
Minnesota was great on 4th down last year. This is a 3rd down and 1, and Brosmer just pushes forward for a first down.
Oh, look at the big right guard, Quinn Carroll, right there. They flip-flopped their guard and tackle a season ago. 77 Carroll, a veteran, graduated from Notre Dame, started a tackle last year, but his future is a guard. And the big man, and he is a big man, at 6'7" and 315, got his pads down and moved people. Jason, this is 6'7", 335 in Lewis, 6'7" and 315. I mentioned to you a center in Johnson at 6'6", 320. Take a look in the best of them, the left tackle, Ursary, shot to be a first-round pick with the way that man moves. That's a fully developed offensive line.
He lost his shoe. That's the only thing that can get him off the field at this point.
You take a timeout for that.
They're going to use a timeout for the big guy's shoe.
Full immediate timeout.
First down when we come back for the Gophers, who are driving. That's what this was like 3 hours ago. So they delayed the start 1 hour. It's been raining intermittently during the game, but a beautiful night and a great crowd.
These students don't care. This gold out, they have been waiting for this one. PJ Fleck really good in non-conference games, 21-2 in his tenure.
Tremendous at home as well, with 1 loss in those. Brosmer play action with time. He'll drop it off, and he's inaccurate, incomplete at the feet of Major. Second down, and new to college football this year, the NFL style of helmet communication. You see Brosmer reaching to here.
And no more ridiculous signs, no more ridiculous sign concealers, no more paranoia. Now you just...
No, there's paranoia still.
Belichick's not New England anymore, so not quite as much paranoia. And everybody can communicate. That green dot on the back of the helmet tells you who's getting it. Power Echols, the linebacker for Carolina, and obviously Brosmer under center here with Minnesota.
Yeah, 1 player on each side, and they kill it at 15 seconds on the play clock. Marcus Major skipping to the 3rd level and picking up about 9.
A to B. I mean, there is just not much wiggle. And that's okay when you're 6 foot and 220 pounds and you've got a plan and a mission. Watch from the time he takes this ball, kind of like elite point guards go right down the middle of the basketball court. Watch this. Until he feels that safety and he can make that little cut to get the yards after contact. Beforehand, I'm going to go A to B as fast as I can. And a really manageable 3rd and short.
Call it 3rd and 2. Big package in there for Minnesota. It's a handoff right up the zipper. 1st and goal for Major.
Well, after all, it is Minnesota, so you know what that means. We're going to have a jumbo package. You can't have a PJ Fleck football team unless you got jumbo. Ursary does a terrific job. Quinn Carroll uses the buttocks on the backside to just block people out. And I am telling you, man, Ursary 6'6", 330, and his times, if they are to be believed, with his 10-yard split, he's going to shatter records at the combine. A big man that can move.
Allison told us earlier he runs with the wide receivers. Brosmer deflected and incomplete. That was hit at the line, and so it was behind Spencer, 2nd and goal.
Yeah, and if it was not tipped at the line of scrimmage, it's going to be a touchdown. Every offense in America runs this concept. They call it mesh. You see the hands go up by Rucker, not just a pass rusher, but has a feel when he doesn't get home to put those paws up. That saved a touchdown. That mesh route, the shallow crosses, cutting right across the field. Won't show up as anything but a pass breakup, but that was a touchdown saver.
2nd team All-ACC last year, Kamen Rucker. Newbin, counter action. Nothing there. Down he goes. He'll lose a yard. Caleb Cost from the secondary on the stop.
Well, I think both OCs, as they talk to their staff over the course of this game, are going to say, what are we seeing? What kind of pictures are we looking at? In both sides, Minnesota and Carolina, putting those secondary guys near the line of scrimmage, putting the safeties in the nickel. That's Jeff Collins right there on a critical. I mean, this is a 4-point play right here.
Couple of tight ends in for Brosmer on 3rd and goal. It's a handoff. Major strung out. Down he goes. Jakeen Harris on the pursuit. 4th and goal.
Yeah, the pit is man-to-man, but watch this play. I just mentioned these secondary players. Look at splitting 2 blocks as Harris. Again, a 6-year player, 5 years at North Carolina State. The awareness to see the blocks coming, to shoot the gap, to split it. And then that 4-point play, hold these Gophers to a field goal attempt.
A highly accurate kicker, Dragan Kesic, who was 23 for 27 last year for the opening points, and he doinked it off the upright. Wow. He was as good as it got in the Big Ten last year.
That is one of those that 99.9, he wears 99% of that sideline believe there is no chance he could possibly miss that. Game winners, 50-plus yard winners. PJ Fleck is looking at going, that is as big a gimme as you can ever ask for one of the elite kickers. But you know what? Is Mack Brown's writing down, no gimmies and openers, ever.
Well, PJ Fleck said, look, there's peace in it because you're going to know by the end of the game, but there's anxiety in it because you don't know yet. Still scoreless. Play action. Hampton picks up the blitz for a moment. Johnson lost the ball. It's loose. Jayonte McMillan sprung it free for Lindenberg. Let's see. There is a marker down.
Prior to the fumble, holding, defense, number 7. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Crushing for Minnesota. Not a very penalized team last year. It's on Aiden Gooseby.
Wow. And once again, these secondary players just making a difference on both ends of it, unfortunately, here. 7 is Gooseby on the back end. A terrific job by McMillan of beating the block. But Gooseby is beat right there, and you just got to let go. Make a little contact, but you can't hold on.
Hampton breaks off a gash and goes cartwheeling through the Minnesota sky. 15 yards, a dazzler for Omarion Hampton, the All-American. And that's how the first 15 minutes of this season will end. What was a bigger thud?
This is the end of the
field goal off the upright or Hampton hitting the ground? A thing of beauty for Carolina's running back.
And he'll settle down as the game goes on. We got to be able to help him out in the protection and the run game as well.
PJ, thanks.
Yeah,
Some good and bad. Quite a big 3rd and 17 on a little check down, but then you come back and you throw in at the feed and you miss a little high. He will adjust. That's what he says to everybody. He will adjust, and he'll adjust to the speed of this game.
After a long run from Omarion Hampton, here's another one. Breaking tackles. It's a first down again. He led the nation in yards after contact last year. He's doing it again.
Yeah, Cody Lindbergh had a great conversation with us. You're going to see the linebacker here. When you come from the side, you've got to wrap and you got to roll. It's great to say. It's really hard to execute. So there's the wrap, but there is no roll on top of it, and he runs right through it over 1,000 yards after contact. As you said, the best in college football a season ago, and he shows you why.
He rolled, but not the way he wanted to on that play. A very talented linebacker, Lindenberg. Johnson to throw, snapping it off near side. That's incomplete after some jockeying. It's Ethan Robinson, the transfer from Bucknell in the coverage.
This is the 3rd time where they've gotten J.J. Jones into a situation where it is, well, a couple of them were zone droppers. The last 2 have been just this. It is one-on-one. It is you, good on good. Ethan Robinson, a transfer from Bucknell, gets his hands on him. My hands are on you. Maybe a little reach. Look, I love that shot. Both are grabbing jerseys.
Yep.
Don't call it. Let him play.
Second down. 7th carry for Omarion Hampton, and they go low that time. Kerry Brown swept the ankle. 3rd down.
Secondary players are active on both sides tonight. Carolina trying to get to the line. This could be a double cadence situation to keep the blitz slowed down. Exactly what it is. So you get to the line, you don't let them sub, and then you try to get that double cadence to declare where is this coming from.
McMillan came sprinting to the line on the near side. 3rd down and 9. Johnson climbing the pocket, rolling left. Johnson sniffs the first down. He's got it and then some. What did Mack Brown say? He's a better runner than you'd think.
Sneaky. 6'5", 225. He was never a dual threat quarterback coming out of high school. He's the son of Brad Johnson, who was not known for his running. But you've got to be able to do this, to step into slide. That's QB drills 101. I guarantee you, Clyde Christensen, who is working with the QBs now, that is a drill you practice. You dip your shoulder underneath that rush. You step up, not out, not back, step up into the pocket, find the escape valve, and go run. A great look at Clyde Christensen. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Super Bowls in Indy, in Tampa, and now back home. His alma mater is an advisor coaching these quarterbacks.
2nd and 8. Pressure from the near side from Wally. Johnson got around that. Then he spins it back in play. And there is a marker down. That was probably a pretty high-risk choice.
Kind of looked like the punt we saw in the first quarter. Unorthodox.
Personal foul. Hands in the face. Defense. Oof. Number 91. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
It's on the Minnesota native, Devin Eastern.
And you know what? He is sick and tired of messing around with that 5'11" guard that's getting underneath his pads and bothering him. It's right here. And Willie Lampkin, the right guard, watch him. He gets, I can't even see him. But look at, he is underneath him. And because of it, these defensive tackles get sick and tired of it.
That's why he was a state title winner in wrestling, because he gets low and uses leverage. 1st down and goal. It's Hampton, a little hesitation. He runs right into Eastern. The pile's still moving. Saw Bryson Nesbitt, the first-team All-ACC tight end, get in there late. 2nd and goal.
It is such an advantage. Nesbitt a little more known for his receiving, but when you got a back like that, and you know if you dent the line of scrimmage at all, and defensive coordinator Corey Heatherman, first year here in Minnesota, knows it too. We had a lot of bodies there. And the average back, you stop for nothing. The elite backs still push that pile for 5.
Nesbitt in motion. Short toss. Hampton goes high and gets a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Lindenberg went underneath to cleave him down.
There's still 4 Gophers. 1 on 4, and he still somehow, some way picks up 6 feet. Can't settle for field goals on the road. You go on the road into an environment like this, you've got to find a way to punch it in.
7th pass of the night. Johnson sees the pressure and dives for the end zone. Let's see. It's very close. Touchdown! We'll see if it stands. For now, the first Carolina touchdown for Max Johnson.
Touchdown. Now the body part hits. Once the tip of that football breaks the plane, that front of that white goal line, without, I mean, this is strength. This is body control. Typically, big lumbering guys fall down. He doesn't. He's got the strength to extend. And Brad Johnson up in the stands says, "That's my boy. That's my boy. I didn't run for many touchdowns. I threw for mine, but he can run it better than me."
Yeah, the hand doesn't matter. Just so people watching know, his hand went down. He got into the end zone. It wasn't the elbow or the arm, just the hand for Max Johnson. Instincts to find the end zone. The transfer for Carolina gets in.
Sitting there with him on the sidelines, and a even better look at Brad Johnson, who I know, like many that played in the 80s and 90s, 2000s, so much of college football is unrecognizable. He's gone from LSU gear to A&M gear, now Carolina gear. You used to develop. He played for Bowden all those years at Florida State, but it's a different game, and you've got to maximize your opportunity. In a transactional sport, your opportunity is now. 2 big-time runs from his son on that drive.
It's Max's 6th rushing touchdown in college. Brad had 10 in his entire college and NFL career, but he did run for 10 yards in the Super Bowl on 1 carry. This week, Big Noon Saturday kicks off a huge season opener between 8th-ranked Penn State and West Virginia, with the Big Noon kickoff crew coming to you live from raucous Morgantown. Don't miss the most-watched game window in college football beginning Saturday on Fox. You've been to Morgantown?
I have.
An opener in Morgantown?
Have not.
It's going to be insane. They've been waiting how long to play college football?
They started tailgating August 1st.
That might be a little conservative. Neil Brown had them playing very well last year. That could be an interesting game early on in the college football playoff discussions, as Max Brosmer has the ball again, and he will hand it off to Major for just a handful of yards, his 8th carry.
We heard from P.J. Fleck with Allison, we got to help Max Brosmer. Yes, he's a 6-year veteran. Yes, he's played a ton of ball. But we've got to get the run game going. We've got to get the play-action game going. I think any quarterback, no matter how much time you've played, you want gimmies. You want to get in rhythm. There has not been much in rhythm in this passing game. There's been some checkdowns, but you'd certainly like to see some of the rhythm we watched at practice yesterday, where that ball did not hit the ground.
We saw the confidence start to grow on the drive that nearly ended in the field goal. They couldn't pay it off with points, though. On 2nd and 7, Carolina brings 4 and gets there, and Brosmer goes down. Amari Campbell got in there.
Is that Cedric Gray, or was that Amari Campbell? Because he looked like the guy that did it for a lot of years. And if you're watching Cedric, you made it to the show. He's got a club on his hand. He's battled a hand injury all camp. But I highlighted Quinn Carroll earlier in the run game of pushing people. But he gets the big man moving. He gets him right. He gets him left. He runs right by him, and he sets up a 3rd and extra long.
Amari Campbell just got himself a birthday present. It's his birthday today, as it's 3rd and 11 for his defense. 5 coming this time. Brosmer has to climb, and down he goes one more time. He ran right into Ritzy. Again, it's a loss of 2.
Well, I know they said he saw everything over 5 years in New Hampshire, but what you've not seen is this chaos from Jeff Collins. He's mixing blitzes. This is an odd front, right? Just one guy down over the center tells you it's an odd front, three-man front. And then you've got twists, you've got stunts, you've got people coming from every direction.
Is now number 42.
The O-line's having a hard time identifying, and the veteran quarterback is seeing a blur of Carolina right now.
We've created a third 3-and-out for Minnesota. And Carolina gets the ball out of halftime, by the way. Returnable punt. Ritzy. Huzzy to the outside, and there is a marker coming down. He gets to the 44. And let's see. There's a flag on the near side. There's a flag on the far side as Elijah Huzzy got into Minnesota territory.
Well, there was a gopher blowing sideways, and that tells you it's a block in the back. I think it was DeAndre Boykins, possibly the first one. You just got a shield, and it's hard for these guys. They've been waiting to hit people. It was a fierce block, but it's one that you've just got to put your body in front. Don't look for that knockout shot because it's gonna move Carolina back.
That's Deontay McMillan, who is down and injured for Minnesota as they discuss the marker. McMillan, who's been around the block in college football, 4 years at TCU. They're talking to Mack Brown about the markers. He doesn't like whatever was just told to him.
He'll see the tape, and he'll see exactly what you're going to see in just a second. And the way those guys fall is a pretty good indicator for these officials as well. And they fall forward on that block. Pretty simple call. Now, the other conversations about the penalty further down the field. And this is first game, right? I got to go hit somebody. I get a chance in the team's phase of things to show what I can do and be physical. The most physical camp Max had at Carolina. The most tackling, the most scrimmaging.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 on each team. Illegal formation, kicking team. Personal foul, illegal blindside block, receiving team. North Carolina has chosen to offset those fouls, and we will re-kick.
Because they are different yardage, different types of fouls, Carolina has the choice.
Their first warning of the game.
So an illegal formation by Minnesota. You're going to see the block come right here. And once again, just watch how that defender falls. Anytime they fall forward like that, it is a clear indicator, right? In order to fall forward, I've gotten hit right in the back. Mike Pereira for the first time in 2024. Am I right?
Welcome back, Mike Pereira.
Boy, it's good to be back, but I'd hate to figure this penalty out. This is one with a foul by each team. Actually, North Carolina got the option. They could keep the ball, but they would then be penalized from the 38-yard line for their blindside block. So Mack chose the other option, which was to offset them and then force a re-kick.
Oh, you look good. You look good for 2024, Mike Pete.
Thank you.
Just came from a wedding to the command center. Huzzy back to receive again. And Elijah Huzzy will watch this go out of bounds. Good choice by Carolina.
Choice by the 73-year-old guy. He's seen a little bit of football, hasn't he?
Jahvaree Ritzy thrilled with a couple of sacks for Carolina on the drive. Be a sub above. PJ Fleck, the Minnesota head coach, refers to Mack Brown as a sneaky mentor. When Mack Brown finished his first season and his first stint at Carolina, PJ Fleck was 8. But then PJ, when he was trying to get into coaching, sent a note to everybody he could send it to through his coach at Northern Illinois when he was a wide receiver, Joe Novak. And there is the response to Joe Novak from Mack Brown. They have been friends since, and they are now on the sidelines against one another. And Mack said, look, it's no fun coaching against friends, but you got to do it.
I would argue there's no other coach in all of college football that others seek wisdom from more than Mack Brown. And he gives it. He got that servant heart to just share all of his 50 years nearly of coaching with others.
He's getting texts from Matthew McConaughey and from all these famous people, and a very giving soul. His quarterback, Max Johnson, hops into a throw. It's short and intercepted. Justin Wally down the sideline for the Gophers. He's still going. Wally tiptoeing inside the 10. What a run.
You know, Jason, I was just about to say to you, you've got to find a way to get Nesbitt the ball. The most trustworthy guy on the other end of it for Max Johnson during camp. They try to go to the tight end. The problem is you've got an elite 4-year starting corner right on that tight end. In a 50-50 ball, a little bit behind Nesbitt, falls right into the hands of Wally. And unlike Robinson earlier, or Brian earlier, that saw a ball go through his hands, this stud, this senior, time is now. And what a play to flip the momentum and emotion in this building.
His 6th interception the last 4 years. It comes off of Max Johnson, and now Minnesota tries to punch it in. Play action. Brosmer throws it. Driver is stopped. The tight end position has been so important to them in situations like this in the recent past.
And they don't have that mismatch maker. So you try to create it with play action and horizontal. And a terrific job by Huzzy coming all the way across the field to tackle Donald Driver's boy, the Penn State transfer, Christian Driver there. Usually that sneak concept, that corner gets caught up across the field. Excellent play.
It's a handoff. It's Major's first Gopher touchdown.
Well, Jason, this is pretty good from the big fellas up front. There is a load of experience over here. You watch Carroll get beat in the passing game, but that time he mauls the defender to create the hole. And Greg Johnson, they love this kid. The true sophomore, thrown in the fire as a freshman a year ago, said, no problem. I'll slide over to center, and I'll get a body on a body. And Marcus Major, he knows how to do that.
We see that from this program so often. Mohamed Ibrahim. Remember the great Marion Barber III and Lawrence Maroney, that two-headed monster when they were together. It kind of always looks the same.
Yeah. Because we don't screw around. We come right at you. We develop. We grow our guys from freshmen to 5th and 6th year seniors.
Defense lining up over the center. That penalty is declined. The extra point is good.
And then when you know thyself, guess what? In the transfer portal, you can go and get exactly what you need, a carbon copy of those physical guys. But it all started right here with the senior Wally. 4 years he's been doing this in Minnesota. Turned the fortunes in this building, and Major turned it into 6.
12th-ranked Utah makes its opening statement as a Big 12 member, and number 11 Missouri looks to build off its best season in a decade. Speaking of best, back to 2 of the best. Jason and Brock, we'll see you at the half, fellas.
2 of the best. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. He's hedging. It's week 1. You never know what we're going to provide over the course of the season. Love you, Mike Hill. Thank you. Of note to Carolina fans, NC State is kind of in it with Western Carolina right now in a 1-score game as well. But it's nice to be back in college football where shirts are optional.
It's nice to know they're still doing stuff that was done in the 90s. Didn't know they had keys like that still to shake those keys around, key plays.
I thought you were talking about the gold towels they had. It's got a little terrible towel feel as well. Okay, so Max Johnson, 2 for 7 so far. Couple of turnovers. What do you need to see, Brock?
You got to flush that last one. He won this job because of his ability to take care of the ball. Went back and looked at all his 22 starts, Jason. Only one time, and that's in the SEC, did he throw 2 interceptions. So typically he limits the damage. But I'd say both quarterbacks, there's not much rhythm. 2 of 7, 10 yards. Right? Those were just kind of short little one-on-one routes you'd like to see I know both of these veteran quarterbacks would like to see some high completion, easy gimme throws. Hard to find them versus these defenses so far tonight.
Omarion Hampton's been the bell cow. This is carry number 11 into Corey Heatherman's defense. And for more on him, here's Allison.
Yeah, and that defense really shifting the momentum in this game. But throughout it, first-year defensive coordinator Corey Heatherman has been telling his guys, we are fine. The times they move the ball, it's because we hurt ourselves losing contain. And with penalties, just focus on your tackling, having good pad levels, staying low, be violent, and continue to go through people.
Yeah, that defensive holding negated the fumble for Johnson earlier in the ball game as it's 2nd down and 8. And this one to the near side is dropped. Incomplete to set up 3rd down. It's off the hand of J.J. Jones.
So J.J. had the beautiful jump man catch on the first 3rd down. Then he falls down. And that's one sure you'd like to see on the front shoulder, but you got to help the quarterback out. Max knows that. That's one of those high percentage throws. That looks right there says, that didn't happen the last 2 weeks of camp. But because it did, now I got to deal with 3rd and 8.
You set it off the top. Pads are on. The truth will be told. 3rd and 8. Here comes Joyner. Got a hand on Johnson, who breaks it down and goes down. Danny Strigo helped out to create the Gopher sack.
Yeah, John Copenhaver, the tight end, is going to do exactly what they talked about for their big tackle. He's going to try to chip on the outside there with Josh Joyner. Here's the problem with chipping, Jason. If you don't chip right, you actually can really hamper your offensive tackle. And that time Howard Sampson was expecting to chip one way, but the momentum pushed him inside and gives Joyner the opportunity to get to the QB.
What is chipping right there?
That is that tight end or running back helping that tackle, chipping, trying to throw a shoulder so that guy can't get started. But that shoulder led to momentum for Joyner to get home.
Redding back to return from the 30. So they'll get 4 yards, and that is it. Saturday, baseball night in America on Fox. The Braves take on NL East rival Bryce Harper and the Phillies. Still a race in the NL East. And the Brewers, with their big lead in the NL Central, taking on one of the most electrifying players in Major League Baseball, Elly De La Cruz. Starts Saturday night, 7 Eastern on Fox. Check the local listings for the game in your area.
I'll be honest, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. I really felt like this was going to be an unbelievably compelling close game.
Yeah.
I didn't know if offenses and these veteran QBs might make more plays. I think we're feeling these defenses on both sides are playing downhill and aggressively. And there's a reason that those guys in the desert have this as a very, very close game.
It was a blowout last year. Carolina put up 31 points behind 414 in the air from Drake May. Minnesota leaves the dock from the 35. A long ride there, and finally a handoff to Major for a gain of 3. So Minnesota averaged under 21 points a game last year for the first time in 12 seasons. And when they were rolling in 2019, they got to that Outback Bowl. They were very efficient offensively.
They threw it to run it. They were an RPO team. It was Tanner Morgan that was spraying it everywhere. And yet their identity, Jason, as you said earlier, like doesn't matter who it is, like huge offensive linemen that just move the line of scrimmage, and their efficiency for P.J. Fleck was off the charts. But the last couple years have been a far cry from that.
2nd and 7. Driver in the backfield. Brosmer looks him off. It's a little bit high, but he's got it to the tight end, Callerup. And it'll be 3rd down coming up. Nick Callerup in his 6th season with the Gophers. What do you like 3rd and 1?
I like pushing that pile, and there you see Greg Harbaugh right in the middle of it, and he was brutally honest. Like, those numbers you just put up, I heard it. At the gas station, I heard it. At the grocery store, I heard it. I know that if you don't produce, I know what this business is about. Got to be a lot more effective, and 3rd and 1s are a good way of doing it.
Low snap. Major does make the 1st down out of it.
Nice job by Brosmer here. He has played so much football, is not going to freak out with that low snap. And once again, it is just big people on the time of possession. And that's the one thing here that's jumping out a little bit. Minnesota is grinding. That is their game. We're going to grind, and we're going to grind, but ultimately need some big plays to follow. And what an opportunity between the 40s here with a veteran QB if you want to take a shot.
Brosmer, the transfer from New Hampshire, with a handoff to Major, and he gets sideswiped. Stick Lane turned himself into a missile.
Now, these safeties on both sides are not afraid to come downhill. And once again, that's a little bit of an indicator to Greg Harbaugh. Oh, you want to be this active? You're going to pull the trigger that fast to split a double team. You're going to pull the trigger that fast to make the tackle at 3 yards. Then you've got to ride that, make that fake, and throw it over their head.
Harbaugh, who grew up in Raleigh and refers to North Carolina as, quote, Chapel Hill because of his history as a young'un in North Carolina. Brosmer, play action, over the top, got it first down. Daniel Jackson was open in bracket coverage.
Yeah, that is a nice job, a deep outcut. That is not an easy throw. That's a high degree of difficulty, but you see the play action. You see Brosmer do an excellent job of getting the feet set, and then all the way across the field, the deep out there between corner and safety, and one of those chunk plays. But if this offense, which is built to run, is going to be able to run, then do that, get those chunk and explosive plays, eventually points will follow.
It's their longest play of the game so far at 20 for the Gophers.
That was an extraordinary number, nearly 50% of the receiving yards a season ago.
Off the spin, Major. Strong effort. Second down.
Darius Taylor saying, yeah, he should be my totes. But he's battled a little bit of injury in camp, a broken tackle, a little bit of a spin cycle there. A lot of talk, right? A lot of talk.
Yeah.
And BJ said, this guy's special now.
Quick note, you're not watching an NFL game. There is a 2-minute timeout in each half in college football. Do you feel enriched?
Love it.
Something new happened.
Not a warning.
Oh, it's not a warning.
It's a stop.
It's calmer. We're tied at 7. Benetti at some point.
At some point this year.
Yeah, well, Benetti said no. Second down for the Gophers. And Marcus Major in the backfield. Driver in motion. They'll hand it to Major. Straight ahead. Got a hand on him. There's a marker down. He's inside the 5 and high-stepping out of bounds. We'll see if it stands. Fireworks went off in the end zone. We'll see how applicable they were after the penalty.
Offside. Defense, number 4. That penalty's declined. First and goal, Minnesota.
Gain of 19 stands.
Well, we talked about this O-line doing a nice job of just targeting, not in an illegal way. You target those blocks. Look at the body on a body. Look at the big left guard, Tyler Cooper, 6-year player as well, getting to that second level. Remember the first couple drives, Jason? And you saw the blur of Carolina in that backfield. They were punching the line of scrimmage. These last couple drives, you felt the wave of the girth of this offensive line from Minnesota. The Major putting his pads down and running right behind him.
35 games playing at home at Oklahoma. Now a transfer to Minnesota. He's in the backfield, first and goal. He'll carry it again off the hesitation. He's stacked up. He drives the legs, and he's just short of the goal line. Second and goal. Will Carolina use a timeout here?
It's a good question. They get the ball to begin the second half, Jason. I don't know how much trust they have in their offense right now, but look at body on a body, body on a body. And if it weren't for the power in Eccles' lower half and the strength as those two Brahma Bulls took on each other, that was going to be another touchdown for Marcus.
That was Major power. Second and goal. Straight ahead. Brosmer dips the shoulder. They'll unpack it. Where is he is the question. In the end zone. The tight end, former tackle in high school, pushed him in.
That was just a straight rugby match right there, bro. And Brosmer told us yesterday he loves this team. He's been here since December. But when we pressed him, like, why? Why do you like these guys so much? You know what's striking me over the course of this first half? Because when you've got a team that is built by offensive linemen, you tend to love your teammates in a football team.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, big guys. Right? Callerup right there. He's 270-pound tight end. There's just like no nonsense. Like these guys sacrifice. Linemen sacrifice. This is a sacrificial program. And Brosmer's loving being a part of it.
He doesn't like that as much, so he said the one thing he was excited about was to see his teammates' expressions when they were in the end zone. He scored that touchdown, but he was the leader for a trip for team bonding, Allison.
He knew he had to do everything he could to build chemistry with this team quickly and maximize his 1 year here in Minnesota. So in May, he took a dozen of the Gophers down to his home in Georgia for a mock retreat. And yes, there were workouts and routes run and all that football stuff, but these were the best times, the most memorable times out on the lake, Max's favorite spot, playing cards, a guitar, a trip to the Braves game where he gave his teammates custom jerseys with their names on it. And he told us it just gave us a chance to learn about each other, show them where I'm from, and build that chemistry and connection you can't always see, but is definitely tangible.
Yeah, Allison, that's the maturity of a guy that's been around the block. That wasn't really recruited out of high school, had to do it for 5 years at the FCS level. And I call it connective tissue. Tom Brady will be on the calls with Fox. He calls it being endearing. Endearing. Yeah. You want your teammates to be around you. I love the way that Tom frames that. And this guy's got his teammates, not just because of a lead today.
Ooh, wow. Almost
he's making up for that missed field goal. So he's got his teammates fully behind his back.
Which leads us to our Pacific Life game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. This is one of the 10,000 lakes. Flash. Here's how it's happened so far. Major, big debut as a Gopher, 73 yards and a touchdown, 22 runs. No surprise.
Nope. And remember, Newbin a year ago filling in for Taylor, pounded it 40 times at Michigan State. So Major's on his way to carrying it over 30. No problem for Max Johnson this passing game for Carolina. It is out of rhythm, and it is out of whack.
How do you call it with 3 timeouts in the ball back? We'll see. Johnson over the middle, got an easy one for a first down. It's J.J. Jones.
You have all the time in the world, and with those 3 timeouts in your back pocket, clock stops every first down. So you play fast, but not in a hurry.
Johnson, another throw. That's to the sideline. It's caught once again. That's Nate McCollum, who had the big day last year, and there is a marker down. And the crowd reacts in a very favorable way.
Pass interference, offense, number 7. 15-yard repeat first down.
Little side swipe from Hamilton, the freshman.
Yeah, that's Hamilton going down the field and blocking right here with the ball thrown down the field. That's just a no-no before it's caught. He must be anticipating that ball is going to be cut, but you can't do that. That is just a young player, a redshirt freshman, a lot of young pups, uber talented guys now. 4 stars, big-time recruits, huge production out of high school. And again, that's an effort. I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to block. But that is, look how enormous that swing of real estate is.
How can you even make the argument to use those 3 timeouts? We'll see what this play does. Remember, North Carolina gets it out of halftime. Pocket breaks down. Johnson goes down. Anthony Smith. Now they might just let it roll.
I think you do, and this is one of the areas that Minnesota felt good about. That's Howard Sampson. And if he looks big,
I'm out, North Carolina.
He is big. He's 6'8", 350 pounds.
30 seconds, I'm out.
But those feet are not the most nimble. They tried to chip and give him some help earlier on an open edge. It is advantage Joyner, advantage Smith, advantage edge rushers for these Gophers.
You better be careful if you're Carolina with that timeout. If this next play is an incompletion, Minnesota can get the ball back.
I would agree with that. So you better find a completion.
Or run it. But
or
what I would
screen
ask
it, or find a way to get Hampton the ball, because he has been damaging with the ball in his hands.
Omarion Hampton, 11 carries, 55 yards. He has not scored yet. He's a returning All-American who had over 1,500 yards last year. 1,500, 15 touchdowns. It was him and Ollie Gordon down in Stillwater that did that at this level.
22-yard difference on that offensive pass interference, and you can just see how it took the starch out of this drive.
They've got to get to the 48, just short of midfield. Johnson will scoop it for Hampton and let him run for a while. Lindenberg spikes him down. Cody Lindenberg, who has a Joker tattoo on his arm, just created some havoc.
That's a nice job of not having a horse collar tackle as well, because it would have been really easy for guys. You see how he attacked the shoulder? He knew exactly where to approach that tackle. Had he approached it with the nameplate, may have had a penalty and kept this drive alive.
He's a local product from Anoka nearby. Grew up in Ramsey, went to high school in Anoka, and he's got the state fired up. This defense has allowed 28 pass yards. 14-7 Minnesota at halftime. Now Mike Hill, Emmanuel Acho, and Chris Peterson have the State Farm halftime show in Los Angeles. Guys, not picturesque in the rain so far in half number one here in Minneapolis. 14-7, not a ton of offense. And time now, Brock Huard, for Next Level Moments, sponsored by AT&T Business. Reliability for your business is our business.
Well, they love to call Jeff Collins, the defensive coordinator, the minister of mayhem, and that's exactly what Max Brosmer was feeling in that first quarter. Mayhem, 3 sacks. Look at all the Carolina blue arrows. They're coming at you from every which way. Stick and move, and just in the face of Brosmer, creating some of that chaos. But the big play was this one. Up 7 was Carolina, and Minnesota said, hey, hold on a second. We play defense too. And Wally here with the enormous interception, a 4-year starter that wasn't just satisfied with getting the pick. That flipped the field, and just, Jason, what it really allowed them to do was like a heavyweight getting the guy in the corner and just pounding on you. Right? That was a middleweight that was dodging and sticking and punching and making all the plays. But that flipped it and allowed just the heavyweight to start to lean into you. Touchdown, touchdown. Marcus Major pounding the football. And just stylistically, the second quarter, all Minnesota.
So if you're North Carolina, second half, you get the ball first. What can you do? What should you do?
I think you got to continue to feed Hampton. He has been your best player. I told you yesterday and told the crew that the best player in this building tonight is Omarion Hampton. And you've got to find ways. They ran a little scoop shovel screen there on that final drive, but I wouldn't mind a crack screen. I wouldn't mind a gap screen. I wouldn't mind, obviously, running the football as well, but your best player's got to be a factor in the second half.
McCollum on the return, and he's not going to get very far at all. It's a swarm of gold, including Kingsbury. Downstairs, Allison.
We have to wake up on offense. That was Mack Brown's message to me at the half. He said, we have a lot of inexperienced guys out there, and they're playing up tight. All of them. So that's a concern. He knows his tackles are getting beat, and he's going to continue to try and help them and chip, but a lot of it is also on the quarterback. He said he has to move. We need to use some misdirection and get the ball out a little bit quicker. Really, he feels that turnover has been the differences in this game, and he did tell us before that Connor Harrell could play at quarterback if things didn't go well. He said, I'm not ready to make that change now, but if things don't change offensively, we will.
We shall see. That's a high snap to start him off, and it is Hampton. Look, 2 teams all of last year had a top 20 rush and pass offense. LSU and North Carolina, they're not used to this.
No, this is not stylistically what they like to do. They've been tempo, they've been spread, they've been RPO. But this is some of what Mack Brown told us. We've got to be more complimentary. I've got to protect my defense. And the pounding they took in the second quarter, the 7 minutes down in time of possession, this is a big drive.
Omarion Hampton's second straight touch, and Minnesota collapses on it. Down he goes, Danny Strigo once again.
Well, just a nifty little stunt at the point of attack. Watch this. Watch the two Gophers go in different directions, and some of that inexperience. A true freshman left guard. Howard Sampson, the big tackle, making his first start. You know what you do against inexperience? Move people. Change the picture pre and post snap. Minnesota savvy and veteran to do so.
The former wrestling state champ in this state, Strigo with a tackle, third down. Johnson with a pocket, far side. Long throw to the sideline, and that is Bryson Nesbitt with a beautiful grab. How'd he do it?
And he had Justin Wally in his hip pocket. These two tangled earlier on that interception. This time Nesbitt has ball. He's got 2 feet down. He controls through contact. You know what you call that? Good on good.
He didn't start football until the summer before his junior year of high school. Now he's a first-team All-ACC tight end.
And you see that with Pops that plays 11 years in the NFL like his does.
On a handoff, Hampton and a big collision down there. That was Maverick Baranowski.
And he, my friends, Baranowski is all-neck team.
All-neck team.
Look at the size of his neck.
Okay. What part should I focus on?
The width. It's like a cobra. And they strike. You can see it in these bio pictures, man. Linebackers whose necks like go outside of their helmet. That's a cobra ready to pounce.
Second down. That's a run for Hampton, and he thrusts forward for about 3rd and 1.5.
That's why I answered.
You are in football mode. This has been a very physical game so far.
And here we go, right to the line of scrimmage again, limiting the substitution and the amount of pressure you may see.
A lot of conversation. Minnesota hopping into the defense. Hampton broke a tackle somehow. Lindenberg met him, and Hampton just rammed him. Listen to this.
Well, Jason, I don't know if that was head-on. I don't know if that was a side tackle. Lindenberg said head-on, bite the ball. Side tackle, wrap and roll. That was just hanging on for dear life and unable to stop a train.
Hampton out. Darwin Barlow in. The transfer from USC has his first catch, and he's near midfield.
You know how hard that is to do, by the way?
Tackle Omarion Hampton.
Well, that and break that tackle on both sides of it. I mean, they love Lindenberg, and Lindenberg said, hey, man, when you're seeing this guy tomorrow, what's the key? And this has been the fundamentals taught. Bite the ball when he's coming right at you, wrap and roll, and then sweep the ankle, and really none of it's effective. It's like trying to hit one of these elite pitchers in baseball. Like, good luck. Like, that's what you want to do. That's the plan. But to execute it, brutally difficult.
Second down throw. It's a quick slant, and it's caught. Once again, the tight end, Nesbitt.
This is good. I mean, this is Chip Lindsey. He's been doing it a while at offensive coordinator as well and been highly productive. You know, Nesbitt here right on the quick little slant. Get your best players the ball. I said to you coming out, like, get Hampton the ball. He's your best player. Your second best player is Bryson Nesbitt. And there you see Chip Lindsey right up here. A veteran staff, Clyde Christensen, I talked about being a real great sounding board as an analyst and QB coach, but Chip's done it a long time in a lot of places. And he's made a good living doing it because he typically maximizes the strengths of his best players.
He's got Hampton back in after a couple of touches from Barlow. Johnson wants to dump it off. It's a screen. It's the tight end. It's his brother, Jake Johnson. And it sets up about a yard to get. But how about this, brother to brother, Max to Jake Johnson?
How cool is that? You do it in the backyard growing up, and once again, you get to a hurried situation here on 3rd and 1, picking up the tempo.
Omarion Hampton straight ahead. That is a gimme in golf. And Mac Brown says about this kid, Omarion Hampton, he's like the most even-keeled person you could possibly imagine, which flies in the face of him flying in the face of defenders.
All he does is work. And look at the pellets up and down his arm. That shot on a hot, sticky night in Minnesota.
Yeah, he's going to take Huntington Bank Stadium home with him. It's a toss to McCollum on the end around, and he'll get 9.5.
This is a textbook drive on adjustments. You heard Mack Brown tell Allison, we're just stuck. We're not moving the ball. We're not efficient. And look at the different ways, the different touches, the different right at you, horizontal movements, creativity.
Flipping out wide. That's a quick hit to Hamilton. He broke one tackle to the 15.
Right? I mean, look at the spray chart on this drive. This is how you put a defense that was dictating to you back on their heels as we got to go for down.
They had 2 guys with a catch in the whole first half. There are now 6 Tar Heels with a reception.
And look at those Gophers sucking wind. There is a lot of huffing and puffing because Carolina's finally got that engine started.
Lucas Finnessy is the one down, the Wisconsin native. With Allstate, Max Johnson has spearheaded a 13-play drive for North Carolina.
Exactly what the doctor ordered, a veteran staff, a veteran head coach. They were not going to sit and be a target. Longest drive of the first half, 9 plays, 13 on this one, as you said.
Johnson a keeper, and he has stood up, just stonewalled and driven back for a loss on the play. Danny Strigo one more time.
Pretty good discipline by the veteran Strigo, and his buddy Devin Williams was right behind him. That's really hard to do when they have fed you the beast right up the middle of it. You just want to cheat, but that is textbook sound gap assignment defense.
Hampton short toss, and he goes horizontal twice. Stolsky got him first. Robinson closed the deal.
So that's how you bring this guy down. It's the only chance you have against the best yard after contact back in America a season ago. One guy can't do it, as you said. Stolsky gets him to stop his feet, and when he is stopped, the rest of the Gophers can go eat.
Or gnaw. Loss of 4, 3rd and 14. Carolina's been great on 3rd down, perfect on the drive. 4-man rush. Quick hitter to the outside. One broken tackle by Hampton, and now he's finished off down the sideline.
That's 6'1", 230 Devin Williams, so they're just about the same size, but you see if he's got any momentum going, and you can hit your head all you want, Devin. I get it. You're right there, and 9 out of 10 backs you make the tackle on as he pats his chest.
You know what that looked like? Looked like Brady Quinn. They went to the same high school, Dublin Kaufman. I know Brady did that a couple times. He hit himself in the head.
Come on, Brady.
Come on, Chopper. Burnett from 29. That is good, and we'll see if Carolina can make the missed field goal earlier from Minnesota hurt. Mack Brown's team stuff you love with Renters Insurance and by Subway. Minnesota's defense was on the field for more than 8 minutes in a very Gopher-like drive for North Carolina on a halftime.
Coming out of halftime, that first half, exactly what P.J. Fleck wants, and that is dominating time of possession over 7 minutes. But now it is flipped on the other side. It's a complementary football we're talking about. 3rd down conversions, an enormous part of it. And a 17-play drive. The only bummer for Max as he's looking at that tape is it didn't end in 7.
They had been perfect on 3rd down on the drive. They were stopped into the red zone as Redding will be back to receive for the Gophers. Boyd drives it, and Redding will let it go through the end zone. Downstairs, Allison Williams talked to P.J. Fleck.
Yeah, and I asked him what changed for his offense and Max Brosmer as the game went on in that first half, and he said the biggest thing was up front. They simplified things. You guys mentioned UNC defensive coordinator Jeff Collins. He's the minister of mayhem, right? He wants to be simple but really look complicated, and those complicated looks were causing problems for the offensive line with Minnesota. So PJ said we really just simplified things. We focused on getting a hat on a hat and letting the effort take over.
And letting that size advantage, that length and that weight get to Jeff Collins' front. you're the first to punch instead of reacting to all of those looks from Jeff Collins. Brosmer's got to do a little more in this second half.
Off play action. He rolls and he throws across his body. That's incomplete, and Jeff Collins' defense sets up a 2nd down and 10. Elijah Huzzy got the hand in, and Jeff Collins, right? He lost his job at Georgia Tech. He finds a home here with Mack Brown, and they talked about complementary football being deeper, but man, was he energized in our meeting.
He sure was. I think a couple things. Number one, best guy to work for. Number two, he had tons of options, and he went to a place where he's recruited or recruited against a lot of the personnel. He knows what they've got, and there's a bunch of difference makers in that front seven and a veteran secondary that's really limited damage tonight.
Seniors across the board on that defensive line. Major gets taken down after a yard, maybe. Power Eccles was the final man after Evans got in first.
Okay, so here's one of those the truth will be told moments. Okay, 3rd and 9. We got to play our style. Now you're going to play into Carolina's hands. You don't have me in the corner where you can just body blow. Let's see if there's a creative pressure here and just how aggressive Greg Harbaugh, the OC from Minnesota, wants to be against these looks. It's one of those trust plays. You trust this new transfer? You trust Max Brosmer and all the things you talked about? This play call, there'll be some evidence of it.
Harbaugh said, when we talked to him, I trust that every play that comes out of my mouth is going to go well. Let's see, Brosmer incomplete. He wanted Driver. 4th down coming up.
Well, that was a great call. And actually, Brosmer threw that thing early with some anticipation. This ball is out of his hand well before Driver breaks, and he just can't quite go get it. Brosmer knows. Just about everything was right. It was just 1 yard in front, a beat early, and Driver couldn't go get it.
4th 3 and out for the Carolina defense. And let's see how tired the Minnesota defense is.
Let's see what UFO punt we get from this Aussie.
This one goes tumbling inside the 30, inside the 25.
That spin screws up
inside,
with these
not
guys.
done, inside the 20.
Just telling you, how these Aussies hit this ball with all this funky spin. These guys don't even, it's like catching a screwball in the outfield. What am I supposed to do? And where is this thing going? 57 yards on that UFO.
You don't get to choose who you come after in college football.
No, this is kind of like Green Bay, right? Going from Favre to Rodgers. Like in college football, to have the durability, the productivity of those guys. Sam started as a true freshman. Drake then followed in his footsteps as a true freshman. And now the 3rd time's a charm. The 5th-year veteran, Max Johnson's not going to put up those numbers. And not the personnel around him on the perimeter to do so either.
But he's been in huge environments. As there's Hampton. I mean, his first start, he was a 3-score underdog at Florida. Goes into the swamp, wins the game 37-34. His dad, who played in the NFL, Brad, we showed him earlier, he said, quote, whistle blew and his head was spinning. But he won, and he looks like his confidence is building here, Max Johnson.
Well, a lot like his dad, the dude is tough, mentally and physically.
Hampton swing it out. Omarion Hampton is bucked out of bounds by Coleman Bryson, the safety.
That's a good tackle. That's about the most fierce tackle we have seen tonight. As Bryson's going to come out of center field here. This is one of those swing screens, and he goes right for that football, right through. You cannot stop your feet against that monster.
His high school coach created a word for it called EVAPs, meaning the guy evaporated when he tackled him. 3rd and 2 for Carolina. Hampton again. Found the crease. Got a 1st down. So patient there, Brock.
He is. And who does he run behind? I hate to call him Little Willie Lampkin because he's 53, the right guard there, because he's really not that little. He just happens to be 5'11" and 290 pounds.
And he loves it. He sees it as an advantage because he's low to the ground. That was nearly jumped and picked off. Wally had the read on it.
You know, the one thing about Lampkin, he reminds me of the old Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, Poona Ford. Puna was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, built exactly the same, 5'11", 300, not prototypical, but look how long his arms are. Those are not the arms of a 5'11" guy, and that's how he's able to do this. His arms are nearly as long. Look at him next to his buddy Trey Green, the right tackle there. I mean, he's got arms of a 6'5" guy. He's got leverage like a fire hydrant, and he's a monster to deal with.
He's a phenomenal player, and he's the only returning starter for this team. Johnson bails out, hits Hampton, and he is hemmed in and dropped by Henderson. Third down. Lampkin's the only guy that anybody around here knew as a starter.
Yeah, Blasky's a transfer from Georgia. Sampson's a transfer from North Texas. Banfield is a true freshman at left guard. Green's been in the program for 3 years, but big man right there, 78, making his first start. Look at the difference. Look at 6'8" and 5'11", and I love this sport because you can play it at any size.
Third and 10. Minnesota delivers a blitz. Speeds up the feet of Johnson, hits him, and incomplete. It came from the secondary with Wally drilling Johnson, and we'll check the marker. Johnson's hurt.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh, you hate to see that. Oh.
Holding. Defense, number 4. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
It's a penalty against Bryan that will lead to a first down, and maybe Connor Harrell coming into the ball game.
It was ferocious man coverage behind. There was nowhere to go. That's the second hold we've seen by the Gophers on the back end because they will get sticky back there. Hampton does a great job initially of stifling that rush, but unfortunately you see the knee get twisted under. A devastating shot on Max Johnson.
College football is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Injured player Max Johnson for North Carolina trying to come off the field. They're going to bring out the cart for Max Johnson. He is in substantial pain, and we saw a look at his dad Brad and his mom Nikki, and it's just such a helpless feeling. Brock.
I told people before, my mom was a 3-time quarterback mom. It's a hard job. It's kind of like a pastor's wife. It can be a very lonely place. It really is. I mean, it is such a hard position. All eyes in this building. They're not judging a right guard or the end. Every eyeball judges a quarterback on every single play, and moms carry that weight. They sense it. They feel it. They hear it in ways. That's hard for me to, it's kind of hard for me to watch, to be honest with you, because you also know how much her son has endured and multiple stops and places and adversity to just fight for this opportunity in a devastating injury. You don't always think about the human element of families, and especially the moms who nurture and grow and provide so much support. And you can see Brad knows it. He's been through battles for 15 years in the league. He knows it. He probably wants to fix it, but mom, they empathize and they feel every single bit of it.
You know, there's so much hope before a season starts and so much joy in this game and what it can be for a season, that maybe this season is going to be the one that changes the way everything goes in my career and life. Yeah.
Bo Nix at Oregon after 3 years of some struggle at Auburn. And it's become such a transactional game, Jason, that when you get your time and you get your moment, you have to maximize it. I told you he is one mentally and emotionally and physically tough guy that has been through tremendous adversity before, but you can just tell with the way he couldn't even put an ounce of weight on that lower leg. He's in tremendous pain, and now
Connor Harrell.
Connor Harrell, time to go.
Yeah. I can't help but think of week 1 for USC a bunch of years ago, 5 years ago, JT Daniels. Very similar thing happened that changed the trajectory of his career and their entire season. But now, you know, in that very awkward way, every teammate of Max Johnson just has to figure out all of the emotions.
Yes, and it's hard because you got a true freshman 68 right there in Banfeld. You got 4 new starters up front. These guys haven't played together in an environment like this. And for Connor Harrell, you've got to realize, okay, now this is my moment. This is my time to pick up the pieces.
From the south suburbs of Birmingham, Connor Harrell hands it off. Omarion Hampton rummaging for yards. And look, Harrell is a really smart dude. He started the bowl game. He was this high school valedictorian. He has had opportunity. It's short opportunity, but this is why you get the reps you get.
You do, and they were competitive all camp. That's the advantage. They were tooth and nail really until the last couple weeks. And I'll say this, Connor Harrell does one thing that Max doesn't do. Let's run a 4-4. He can flat out go.
With Nesbitt in motion, they'll give it. It's Hampton with a crease and a first down.
And I'll be curious here how this affects now Corey Heatherman, the D coordinator. He told us yesterday, we got a plan for both. And I bet you there was more attack against Max Johnson and the threat of this young man's legs and the 1-2 punch of these two. He's going to have to adjust.
So how hard is it to retrain your players midstream in a game if you're going to adjust that much?
Really tough in season. The fact that you've had a month of training camp, not as difficult. You have spent a lot of time. They told us really clearly, we prepared for both of them. As you see just Hampton, he just doesn't tire. But for that guy right there, Corey Heatherman's got the most difficult job now to adjust on the fly to a very athletic quarterback.
Hampton now over 2,000 yards for his career. This is Harrell wheeling outside as we talked about, and Lindenberg closes him out. Nice play.
That's really good. That is stout up front. That's a QB draw that they're trying to create space. But Harrell sees a wall. He sees Lindenberg. He sees 3 Gophers pursuing. And right now he sees a critical third down as they are right on the verge of field goal range. Cannot go backwards.
Harrell loads the time. This is short, incomplete. He wanted Phillips, the freshman. What do you do here, Brock? 4th and 8.
If you trust your kicker, and Noah last year was 19 to 20, now a long of just 48 yards. So this would be a long, but I like this call right here. Mack Brown knows it. There's not much wind tonight. Most of the moisture has calmed down, turned into a really nice evening. But a 52-yarder, I believe, will be a career long.
He was perfect from 40-plus last year. Not a whole lot of effort from this distance. From 52 for Burnett to make it a 1-point game. It is on the way, and it is good. He drilled it.
That's big time. I mean, 19 to 20 last year. Perfect on PATs. Big time. And you could see it right from the jump. I mean, that ball got up in a hurry. Sometimes when you're trying a new long, what happens? You try to drive that ball, you kick it a little lower, and nice, again, 5-minute ball possession drive. I mean, say for 3 plays, they own this whole quarter, and you could see it.
Best kicker mean mug you've ever seen.
That's coach gave me a chance, and I delivered face. Love that. We got a ball game, my friends. And we knew it coming in here. It was going to look and feel like this.
Carolina's had the ball for 13 and a half minutes this quarter. I mean, this total, keep it. You remember Dean Smith used to play the 4 corners, right? This is 4 corners football for Carolina.
Against a guy that loves to play keep away in PJ Fleck. Mack Brown, he typically tells you exactly what's on his mind. He wanted to play a different style this season. Wanted to protect the defense a little more. Holy cow, the offense couldn't have done more in that 3rd frame. Those boys are going to be fresh coming out.
Redding says, come on to me, I want to return this, and he gets decked to the 24. That's a real big oh yeah. And Ziegler, I mean, we thought Burnett was amped. 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady makes his long-awaited NFL on Fox debut. He joins Kevin Burkhardt, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi for the season opener. Cowboys and Browns September 8th, only on Fox. Everybody else has those TV smiles. Tom's just off the field. He hasn't gotten his TV smile yet.
Look at Ziegler. Hey, man, these youngins hit all camp. They're tired of hitting each other. Now they get a chance to fly down there. That was a howl and a scream for the ages.
So now Max Brosmer, the transfer from New Hampshire, to give it to Major. Not a whole lot. Man, this Carolina defense is angry right now. Jacoby Cowan, the senior, the transfer from Ohio State. All the momentum with the Tar Heels. Yeah,
they're fresh.
Salty.
They played 4 plays that whole
They were
quarter.
waiting around for an hour before the game happened. Pent up energy coming out. 15 minutes left.
Let's go.
Sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate.
And I had opened my big fat mouth about no rain, no winds. Some of that moisture has come right back into the building with a crowd that just wants this thing to go. And look at PJ's record. Usually they're more than a 1-point lead, I bet you, over the years. But this is a big drive.
And movement at the line. Let's see, is it a false start? Shaw thinks so.
No.
You don't. If Shaw crosses the line and forces the movement.
Full start on the center. 5-yard
Shaw
penalty.
was right.
Second out.
Those crafty centers.
He wasn't even pointing at the center, by the way. He's pointing at Tyler Cooper,
He was.
the left guard. He wasn't even looking at the center. He is in the backfield as the center. Yeah, he leans. The center does lean, and that is what Rucker is reacting to. One of the young puppies, the only young puppy on that offensive line. Third start, first of his career at center for Greg Johnson.
Replacing Nathan Bowe. Second and 15. Brosmer, quick set. Got it out fast and got it complete to the sideline. It's Daniel Jackson with his second catch and his third touch.
I was just saying to you during the timeout, number 9's got to get involved. Max Brosmer's going to have to make a play, but he is your best perimeter player, Daniel Jackson, by a long ways. He had a rush earlier for nothing, 1 reception for 20, the final 15. If you're Greg Harbaugh, the OC, find a way. And that was the plan anyway. Jet sweep, screens, get the ball out quickly. Let number 9 be a factor.
He came here because of Rashad Bateman and Tyler Johnson that 2019 season. He saw what they did and wanted to replicate it.
Get him in.
Jackson in motion. Into the slot. Brosmer steps up and trips. Down he goes. Rucker was closest.
If Brosmer had one more beat, he's got a touchdown deep down the field. But unfortunately, with the rush of Rucker and others, he does not have that extra beat. You see the crossing routes. Nobody is there. But watch right here in the middle. DB falls down, and there is no one within 15 yards of Christian Driver. That was Caleb Koss, the nickelback, who lost his footing. Brosmer lost his eyes there, and yet again, another punt.
Off the foot sack for Carolina. This punt up the sideline to the 43. Pretty good field position for North Carolina. Trying to take the lead. The Tar Heels on the comeback trail all second half in Minneapolis in the season opener. Awful news this week. And PJ Fleck, you couldn't help but see how much that young man matters to him when we talk to him.
He said he never asked for anything. It's the first time in his life he has. And to see the outpouring of love and the resources and the support, phenomenal.
North Carolina football once again. A Harrell spits it out wide. McCollum breaks a tackle and turns it upfield for a couple. Back to the last third down.
This is pretty cool here. Okay, a couple things. Number one, a young guy and a veteran guy. These two are going to bracket the go-to receiver. Brosmer's looking here, and there's nowhere to go. And you could see, unfortunately, the receiver driver going deep, but his eyes weren't there. Kudos to the guys on the back end of that secondary. Matt Brown was talking about the secondary's experience. They take away Jackson, Brosmer loses sight, and the shot to driver down the field.
Everything can change so quickly as Carolina's offense has outpaced itself from 2 quarters in that third quarter.
How about Harrell on the move here?
Connor Harrell in for the injured Max Johnson. Harrell in the pocket. Hampton picks it up, and the throw is incomplete. J.J. Jones frustrated. He couldn't bring it in. It's 4th down.
That is not an easy throw, and one that Brian is looking at. Look at Hampton come over. He scans the protection. He sticks his face right in there. And those are the difference makers. J.J. Jones is a guy that you've got to count on here. One of the lone senior receivers as you see Harrell facing that pressure. Some of the veterans have got to pick up some of the young guys. Carolina's going to find a way here in the final 12.
McGinnis to punt. It's a good one. Bouncing toward the corner and stopped right at the 1-yard line. Man, oh man, Elijah Huzzy with a brilliant play. He's their punt returner, and then he sprints back in coverage.
And let me guess, an Aussie punter?
Immediate timeout.
Yeah, they just know how to spin it differently. And it's going to take 99 to pay dirt now.
Catch the nation's best at the State Farm Women's Volleyball Showcase. Number 5 Stanford, number 18 Minnesota, who's been to 6 Final Fours, 3 Eastern exclusively on FS1. Max Brosmer, we were told by PJ Fleck, wants to prove to himself that he is what he thinks he is. That's his goal. That's what he's striving for. 98 yards here would go a long way. First down for Brosmer. The transfer quarterback dumps it for Major, who breaks a tackle up the sideline. First down, gain of 11 in the arms of Power Echols.
Well, that's been some of their best passing game. A couple checkdowns 20 yards earlier to them. This one a little bit more conventional. I love the eyes scanning right there. And that's all Marcus Major. That one broken tackle moves the sticks and gets them away from their own end zone.
Brosmer again, stepping up and running. Pointing out a block for Major. Ball's on the ground. Let's see. Do they blow it dead? Let's see. They are going to say he was down. Travis Shaw was at the bottom there.
This is going to be pretty close, Jay.
Oh, boy.
That ball's moving.
I think you're right, and there is a clear recovery at the end of this play. Oh, boy. Amari Campbell and his club punched it out if it was out.
That is what you call a shot on goal. Jeff Collins teaches it. They practice it. They rep it. And he even said to us yesterday, I kind of hope Amari gets a shot on goal with that club. And I'll tell you this, too, as we bring in Mike Pereira, the reaction of Brosmer told me that he knew, right? I got the sense that he knew that ball was out. Mike Pereira, what are you seeing?
That's really interesting, Brock, because I look at that, too, that reaction. I mean, it's really close, but it's out. I mean, the knee almost gets down, but the ball just rolls out before that. So then you get into, you know, the clear recovery, which there was. So as I look at this, I think it's a turnover and a fumble and a recovery by the defense, and really should be North Carolina's ball.
Mike, can I ask you just kind of a dumb question?
You don't have any dumb questions.
Well, is that club an advantage in this situation?
The ball came loose prior to the runner being down. Was recovered by North Carolina at the 22-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for North Carolina.
Great call,
I mean,
Mike.
I think that it could be, but remember, any club has to be padded sufficiently with the foam so it doesn't have an impact, doesn't become a safety issue. But yes, just with the mass alone, the added mass alone, that might affect the ball getting punched out. And that is an interesting point.
Well,
Mike, thank you.
You got to be one tough sucker to play with a broken hand, as he's had to endure all camp. And Max Brosmer's reaction and all them pellets on his face told me he knew that ball was out.
And a great job by Shaw to play through the end of the proceedings. First down, North Carolina from the 22, wrapping on the door. Hampton picking his way for a 1.5 yards.
Where to me, you've got to fight. You've got to fight being conservative. You've got an excellent kicker. Your defense has hardly played this entire second half. It's one of those moments where I would love to be in the headset of Chip Lindsey and Mack Brown. How do we want to play this? Unlike Max Brosmer with 6 years of experience, this is a guy thrown in the fire here with one start under his belt in Harrell.
Hampton, short side, spinning and losing a couple of yards. Wally was first again. He's been so active from the corner spot.
So good in every phase of it. He'll come up and hit you. He's done that an awful lot in his career. He'll take the ball away. He has no problem shedding a block, defeating a block. And while he doesn't bring him to the ground, you see the force stopping that momentum. Bryson Nesbitt, 10 touchdowns, as much as any tight ends in Carolina history, more than them.
Against a defense that's been on the field for more than 14 minutes here in the second half. Watch Nesbitt up there. It's Harrell on the run, trying to dodge a tackler. He lost the ball. It's on the ground. Everybody dives for it. Gooseby says it's Minnesota football. Let's see. Joyner punched it out, and it's going to be Carolina football, to the jeers of the folks who are not as Minnesota nice as they might have been. Wow.
QB draw, try to play conservative, and look at Joyner, the experience, the 5 years, slow the game down, and he too punched that ball out. But this time, bounces the way of Carolina.
Noah Burnett hit from 52. This from 42 for the Tar Heel lead. It's on the way, and it is true again. Noah Burnett is nails, and Mack Brown loves it. Huge turnovers in this game, Brock. How's this thing going to end? Just inches away, both sides. This one a turnover. Burnett, Steely.
You could feel it. Look at the energy there. Players are inducing that energy on one sideline, and P.J. Fleck had to do it on the other.
Minnesota will get it back. Time now for Above and Beyond, sponsored by Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. It's the two tailbacks so far.
Yeah, we do coming into this thing. We thought it might be Darius Taylor. He's out. Marcus Major has filled in admirably. He's had a couple of their best receptions as well. Hampton, oh, by the way, who was on the bottom of the pile? One of the bigger plays of the whole night. Yep. He was the one that fought, didn't give up on that play, went and got that fumble so they could kick and take the lead. The longest pass tonight is what?
20 for either team.
That's borderline incomprehensible in today's college football.
Well, Minnesota's longest pass play last year was what?
39.
Okay, that's borderline incomprehensible.
No, that is incomprehensible. Okay. Yes.
We crossed the borderline.
Borderline.
But this is a team that's won 9 games or more 3 of the last 5 years, trying to dig themselves out of a 2-point hole from the 25. Brosmer Flees the pocket. Ritzy after him, and he collapses on him. Jabari Ritzy has been massive tonight.
Well, the guys down the field have been pretty good, too, because Brosmer's looking to push the ball, and there is nowhere. PJ keeps blowing those bubbles, and he's like, man, they are doubling Jackson. They're running with everybody else. Jeff Collins' crew has got answers, and then all of a sudden, unlike at New Hampshire, you know what there weren't in New Hampshire? 290-pound DNs that chase you down. That's what he is. A four-star, one of the top 300 players in the country, one of those veteran guys whose light is bright at the end of the tunnel of his career, and he's showing out tonight like the rest of his boys up front.
His first game was the first game out of COVID at Lane Stadium in Virginia Tech. A loss for Carolina in a huge spot, trying to protect week one here. That's a throw to the sideline. Jackson escapes the handcuffs and gets to the 40-yard line.
And there you go. There's your 20-yarder the hard way.
Timeout number 23.
A pretty simple little route. My guy versus your guy. Good on good. Perfect pass. And for the rare occasion, I don't know what Stick Lane was doing, number one here. Head down, just flying in. But Jackson breaks two, and the senior says, enough. Put this ball on my chest and let me do something.
40 seconds for a defensive player's helmet taken off.
Been pretty sound defensively, and these safeties in Lane have been excellent. But that time, that's one of those, I'll just take it for granted. I'll run into him. He's already basically tackled. And whether it's the opener or week 10, you cannot take one play for granted.
Caleb LaValle just put his helmet on as they reset the play clock from the 40. It's a run, and it's a quarter of a yard for Major. That's Ritzy one more time. And a little post-play skirmish. Some jawing between Ritzy and Major.
And a nice job there again of Amari Campbell. Some critical plays tonight that Amari has made. And if you're not going to block him, he's going to get on the line of scrimmage in a hurry. Maybe a little frustration, too, from those guys on that Minnesota side that have just not been able to get it going.
It took a late rally week one last year against Nebraska and a last-second field goal to win 13-10. Can they do it again? It's Driver. And he's across the 45 and then finally just drilled out of bounds. Eventually, Huzzy and Harris collaborated third down.
Yeah, there was a lot of mayhem over there. But unlike a season ago, there were like 4 Tar Heels there to kind of clean up the damage. They've limited the big play against a crew that, yes, doesn't do it very well. But I will tell you, Jason, the effort sideline to sideline have been phenomenal.
Well, they were 94th in the country in big plays allowed, in chunk plays allowed last year. So is everybody doing it to Carolina. 3rd and 4 for Minnesota. Brockington in motion. Brosmer hit, stays upright. Brosmer! Oh, man, what a play. He got by Campbell and turns it upfield, and maybe this is the start of something for the transfer.
And those two tangled the last time, and it was that club that punched that ball out. This time, what can be your biggest blessing can be a curse. Because of that club, he could not grab cloth. And Brosmer escapes, moves the chains, and keeps this drive alive. Wow.
Brosmer, first down throw. He's got it to Brockington, who spit out the ball in stride. Major, come on! A pinball wizard to the 10. Ludicrous.
You want mayhem? Jeff Collins coaches mayhem. And Stick Lane punches this ball out. Another shot on goal. Boom! And that ball, like Peanut Tillman's punched out.
Yes.
But unfortunately...
Brockington says, thank you.
And Major says, I got you.
Brosmer fires, end zone incomplete. Off the hands of Spencer. 2nd and goal.
Wow, that was a terrific throw, and that is one they worked on yesterday. We were watching Red Zone, and 11 was featured a bunch. I think he just loses his feet. That's where you want that ball, on that back shoulder, and as he saw it going in that direction, you could just see him lose his feet. Actually, it zings right by Caleb Cost. But because he lost the body control, he lost the function to reel that touchdown in.
Under 5 to go. What an opener. Motion coming from Driver. It's Major. Carolina's on it. Rucker continues the dance party for a while, and the official says no penalty. That's Ron Kay, the center judge, who shook his head immediately and said no penalty.
He's trying to hold him up. They're just dancing. They're just dancing the tango. Don't let a penalty in this moment dictate the game. Let the players do it. I like that judgment.
Yeah. 3rd and goal. Brosmer. Ooh, missed. Incomplete for Newbin. And a murmur from the locals. It'll be a field goal for the lead, but they wanted 6.
Yeah, and Brosmer right away clapping his hands. He did not like that route by Newbin, who kind of stopped. He kind of stopped because there were 2 guys out there. So I think even if he catches it, there was going to be nowhere to go. The shot was the first down play. And redemption time.
He missed a shorty earlier. Dragan Kesic.
You couldn't set it up better, right down the middle of the sticks this time.
Straight on. And it's good. Minnesota retakes the lead. Time to take a look at our Pacific Life Games Summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years.
Well, this one's been just an absolute grind for like every inch. That was Max Johnson's first touchdown of the game by the nose of the football. This one's about a foot behind. That's it. And that was a huge play that turned momentum. The interception by Wally. And then the heavyweights leaned on those Tar Heels. The horrible, horrific injury to Max Johnson. And then just football got a funny way, man. Those 2 characters, right? That was the fumble caused by Campbell. The field goal that ensued, and then he scrambled, did Brosmer, right through Campbell on a huge 3rd down. And of course, well, you got the pick and the pop to get you to the 10. I mean, just like a mix of a grind and chaos.
Yeah, you see that as often as you see a corded phone. Brosmer was on a landline telephone, which is as rare as that bounce to Major.
And you know what I guess is that all comes out of my mouth? Chris Peterson back in studios going, oh, but Brock, have you not watched season openers in college football? We get no preseason. Haven't you learned anything through all your years of doing this? I know Max Brosmer's learned an awful lot tonight through these 56 minutes, and we'll see if he's get another opportunity.
Well, he was shocked by the facilities here. The other day, he was like, they hand me food when I'm coming off the field. Like, I didn't know I didn't have to bring my own shoulder pads, but he is on a rotary phone. So there is still some history here. 17-16 Gophers. Carolina just 205 total yards tonight. Harrell addresses Hampton on the run. Man, is he fast on the gas pedal.
Gosh, he just gets to that gear so fast. A little delayed draw right here between the 2. I like this. Kind of awkward running right into him. So Hampton's got to break the quarterback's tackle, got to break the linebacker's tackle. One of the best in America. It's him and the big boy Ollie Gordon at Oklahoma State. Those 2 going to be putting up some significant numbers this season, and he is carrying this offense.
125 yards. 3 shy of his career high in carries. Harrell pops it over the top, right down the sideline. That's a wide open J.J. Jones. 32 yards.
And you pull out the old triple option. Justin Walley has been so good on that edge, but he's in man coverage, and that's his man. So that's the beauty of having an active, athletic quarterback that can pull it and run it. And Walley is thinking, I got to go make this tackle. And the biggest play of Connor Harrell's life, right there, delivers.
Remember, there is a 2-minute stoppage. It's Hampton inviting contact down to the 26.
Yeah, not a surprise that 2 veteran coaches have done a tremendous job of keeping those timeouts in the holster in such a tightly contested affair.
They each get an extra timeout this year with the 2-minute stoppage on the horizon. And with that, we have 120 seconds left in the opener. You better take a breath. Might not be much of an opportunity when we come back. 1-point game in Minneapolis. One way or the other. And at 73 years old, he gives us all hope for just a long, joyful thrill of a life.
Loves it. Some stay in it because it's their identity. He's stayed in it because it's his love.
His team is down 1. Second down out of the 2-minute stoppage to the 24. Joyner the stop on Hampton.
Timeout.
Minnesota will use its first timeout. This is one of those situations where you can spin yourself into the ground. Well, do I want to get it to Hampton? I want it to get Harrell. Do I want to do the triple option defensively? Well, we got to prepare for Hampton. I got to throw artillery at the line of scrimmage. They've not thrown it over our heads, not even once. Been very little execution at all in the passing game other than that little triple option throw. This is these are the calls. These are the calls in the moments as coordinators in the chess match where you get paid to do your job.
Carolina could first down Minnesota into oblivion here. A couple of first downs and a very short field goal, and the game's over.
Yes.
What will Chip Lindsey call?
And how different, again, that it is Connor Harrell, not Max Johnson. But you also have got to empower young people to go play to their strength. And you got the whole field here to his right side. Gosh, I'm always a fan of just letting athletes do their thing in these moments.
3rd and 5. Harrell tucks it and loses yardage. Jack Henderson was there first. Timeout, Minnesota. Now, this is off the hash mark, and it's a longer kick. Burnett has been outstanding, the kicker for North Carolina tonight.
Yeah, and if you had any question what Minnesota was doing defensively, just look at the number of hats 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. Even Coleman Bryson, the last line of defense, is creeping to about 7 yards. They were going to dare Carolina to throw it over their head, and instead Mack Brown and staff trust one of the most reliable kickers in all of college football.
Duke fans know that he can make a game winner. He hit from 43 against the Blue Devils on a 19 for 20 last year. Burnett with a 52-yarder already tonight. This will be from 45 for the lead. Out of the hold of McGinnis. A gold rush surrounding him in Minneapolis. Burnett on the way, and again he knocks it down.
Perfect snap. Perfect hold. Perfect swing and kick. You cannot do it under that pressure any better. Look at that hold. Laces out. Totally still. And Burnett says, I did 52. I've already mean mugged like 4 times for Benetti.
Now it's old hat. Mac, your thoughts? We talked about all the joy and all the dancing. He still wants to win. You can see that in that glare.
I mean, this is complimentary. We started the show talking complimentary football in a different style. He's played it for nearly 59 minutes.
This is complimentary television teamwork. Big Noon Saturday kicks off a huge season with an opener between Penn State and West Virginia. Big Noon kickoff coming to you live from Morgantown. Don't miss the most watched game window in college football beginning Saturday on Fox.
That's going to be a blast. I'm kicking myself because I should have, knowing this was going to be a tight game, asked Max Brosmer yesterday. One drive to win it at the end. What's going through your mind?
Well, he's a chess player. What's going through his mind is all the possible moves. He, against his offensive coordinator earlier in camp, they were playing chess. Max Brosmer intentionally gave up the queen to prove that he could beat Harbaugh in chess without the queen. Now, he's going to have all of his weapons here. Does he have the answers to move down the board?
Well, what Carolina's done is they've really tried to bracket and double Daniel Jackson and make somebody else beat him. I don't think Jeff Collins is going to go away from that. I think Elijah Spencer, you better come to life. I think Marcus Major on those checkdowns has been devastating. And then the creativity of number 16 in these 2-minute drives, it's got to come to life.
Brosmer, deep ball, left side, incomplete, and a marker coming in. Jackson got tackled. Marcus Allen on the...
Just early contact there for Marcus Allen.
Defense, number 29, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And you can see the deep corner route here, and it's that grab and that contact that 1,000% impedes that receiver, Daniel Jackson, from getting the ball. And can we give some kudos here with a minute to go to an officiating crew who in the opener have been all over this thing.
Yeah, awesome effort tonight. It's on target. Spencer breaking tackles. He's across the 40. Rucker nearly got there.
You're just going to have to trust me because the moment's too big, Jason, but this ball is out of Brosmer's hands 2 steps before Spencer breaks. That's 5 years of experience in throwing a guy open, and Spencer delivering on the other end.
On first down, Brosmer. Quick throw to the outside again. Caught by Jackson. Certainly field goal range. Kesich was 3 for 4 from 50-plus last year.
And this is why you brought this guy to Minnesota. Why you brought 5 years of experience growing at the FCS level, so this moment would not be too big for him, and he's delivering.
Major, the Oklahoma transfer with a marker in. He's inside the 20, but is it holding back at the 35?
And that is a huge penalty. It's going to take this thing out of field goal range.
Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second out.
It's on Cooper, the senior.
Well, I told you with young guys you run stunts. Even with veteran guys you run stunts, and this is the obvious hold here. That is on Bo Atkinson, and you had a little TE stunt, and it created just enough chaos there that Cooper has to reach, he has to grab, he has to tackle, and that is a call and a penalty you have to throw in that moment.
Right on the border of field goal range. Brosmer scanning and firing down the middle. Got a completion to the 33-yard line. Jamison Gears. One timeout for Minnesota. Brosmer's got to hustle. If you spike it, you've got to kick it.
A lot of confusion here. A lot of confusion, Jason.
3rd and 3. It's a run. They're playing for the field goal, and it is a first down. It's Newbin on the carry. 1 timeout remaining.
right back to the line.
PJ says go. 10 seconds. They will spike it. Remember, Minnesota has missed a field goal already tonight. North Carolina has 3 timeouts to play with. Minnesota has 1. They could veritably run a play here.
Oh, you do. I think you absolutely do, and you make sure you get ready to call that timeout. Carolina will try to keep that running back. I'm sure this will be conservative. And maybe even the QB falling down right to where, or the running back right to where that kicker wants the ball placed.
Major straight ahead. They'll use the timeout, and we have a field goal chance to win.
That's interesting because he missed.
Final timeout,
it was
Minnesota.
a little further on that right hash, and it was closer in, so a little tougher angle. But this was early, to the shock of everybody in this building. Once again, 23 of 27 a year ago. But it was more towards that hash. I'm a little surprised you didn't just try to line this thing up right in the middle of the field. But they love this dude. I mean, he's their Jokic. He really is. He is beloved by all his teammates. He's Serbian. He's an unbelievable athlete. He's 6'5", 230, and can run. And as PJ said, like, NFL's going to love him because with the new kickoff rules, you got to sometimes tackle and account for a gap. And this dude's not a kicker. He's a football player.
They're playing I Won't Back Down over the loudspeaker in Minneapolis.
And Brosmer did not back down. Delivered. And he can't even watch right now. Awesome.
Week 1. Tension to the sky. North Carolina has 3 timeouts. Dragan Kesic from 47. And we'll wait.
Timeout, North Carolina. First jump.
Remember, you can't use back-to-back timeouts, so this is the end of the line in the waiting room for the Gophers kicker.
Do you know what I would pay to know, like VH1 or those MTV Thought Bubbles back in the day?
Pop-up video.
Oh my gosh. What is in his head? I got this. I got this. I got it right down the middle. Right down the middle. Like, that is what you have to self-talk. I would believe I've never been a kicker. But I have to think, just like Brosmer had to do on that drive. Doesn't matter. Holding call, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Beers hardly had, what, 4 catches in his career. Gears, I'm going to find a way to get it to him. Here we go.
Don't worry. The happiness of an entire state is in your hands.
And we've got to live for these moments.
Kesic walks it off. From 47. On the way. It is no good. North Carolina survives. The heart-thumping of college football cannot be beat. From the hash mark, slightly. It's no good that way. Allison Williams with Mac Brown.
Coach Brown, what is going through your mind when you see that kick sail wide?
Just proud of these kids. Hate it for him. He missed one earlier in the game. Our guy made all his. This was a great football game between 2 really good football teams on the road that fought their guts out, and neither one should lose. I just told PJ that. We should both be proud of our teams. This is what college football is all about. Glad we came out with a win.
How did UNC find a way to come out on top?
Played great defense. best we've played in a long time. Ran the ball well. We've got to do better on offense. Got a lot of key pieces. I hate it Max got hurt for him and for us. Connor got to come on.
Can you tell us anything about Max Johnson's status?
I don't really know anything, Allison. What we've learned is until the doctors check him and until they get to his parents, I'd rather not know because the parents should know first.
Thank you, Matt. Go dance with your team in the locker room.
Thank you, Allison.
It's this close, Brock.
Yeah, and I just wonder, again, on that run, to put it closer to that right hash where you missed earlier, right? And had that ball been in the middle of the field, this is good.
Yeah.
Rosemer couldn't watch with his teammates. They're huddled together, and then he could hear the crowd, and and how this stings that much more, Jason, is for the last 4 weeks you have readied yourself for this one.
Yeah.
For this moment, PJ Fleck has got all the guys ready for this game. You have 4+ weeks. It's agonizing to lose any week of a season, but the opener in this fashion, hard to swallow. And then the joy, well, going to be a fun flight home as they land at 5 a.m. in Chapel Hill tonight.
They don't care when they land. They landed the plane here in Minneapolis, 1917.